Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sean Egan. I'm the Director of COVID Workplace Safety here in the state of Michigan, and we're doing a follow-up to our HVAC webinar series we did a few weeks back. If you recall, we did a four-part series on HVAC changes that you might be able to consider for your type of workplace or environment to help contain COVID from spreading in our communities. You can find that series on our Michigan Department of Labor YouTube page if you'd like to review some of those pieces. We covered sort of everything. We covered ventilation, filtration, and humidification, and some of the impacts on COVID spreading in our indoors and our workplaces that you should check out. And then today, very excited to have Consumers Energy and DTE join me, as well as some information from Michigan Saves on how you might be able to consider and finance some of those projects. Whether that's rebates, other types of incentives, or just straight financing, there are a lot of options available to help you consider these changes that you could do to help contain COVID. First and foremost, though, one of the primary things that we can continue to do is maintain that social distance, require those face coverings, and practice good hygiene. Even though there's a lot of noise around COVID and we're starting to see a light at the end of the tunnel as it relates to the vaccines and the rollout, it's going to take some time. So we're going to have several more months that we're going to have to continue with these mitigation strategies to help try to contain COVID, keep our numbers down, and keep our workplaces safe. This virus continues to spread primarily through large respiratory droplets and aerosols we create when we talk, sing, cough, or sneeze, and we need to try to contain that. So one of the ways that we do that is by wearing face coverings. Now, science has told us that just wearing face coverings can help cut transmission by as much as 70% if we're both wearing those. And you can see on this chance of transmission scale that when we had the stay home, stay safe order, we had practically no chance of transmission because we're practicing the ultimate form of social distancing and not really engaging with others. But we can keep that quite low if we continue to wear those face coverings when we're at work, out in public, or interacting with people in general. So we really have to focus on those things. And when we think about workplace rules and the other pieces, that's really what they're geared around, is that social distance, face coverings, and good hygiene. Next slide. So you can find a lot of information, as well as the emergency rules from MIOSHA and guidelines for industries at our michigan.gov COVID workplace safety website. Everything we're doing is getting posted there. We have a great FAQ on the emergency rules themselves from questions that have been coming in from workplaces across the state of Michigan. So definitely check there if you have questions. We may have already answered your question. We also have a great resource in our hotline. Next slide, please. At 855-SAFE-C19, MIOSHA set this up very early in this crisis. It gets you directly into the MIOSHA experts for questions about workplace safety as it relates to COVID. This is for employers or employees to call in, and the wait time has been phenomenal throughout, at about 30 seconds or less to get to one of those MIOSHA experts. And if you need further assistance, if you're an employer, they can get you over to the consultation team within MIOSHA. If you're an employee, they can get you over to the complaint side if that's necessary. Great tool. I'd encourage you to use it. Next slide. We have a lot of links to other information there too. One of the things we talk about a lot are doing those daily health screenings. The My Symptoms app is a free app created by DHHS and U of M that employers can sign up for. You get an employer code that you give to your employees, and they'll link directly with you. You have a real-time dashboard to see who's taking it, and they'll get a flag on their smartphone, tablet, or whatever device they're using to fill it out. It'll also take care of the record keeping. Next slide, please. Michigan Saves had joined us on the HVAC webinar series. They couldn't be with us today, but Michigan Saves is a nonprofit that came out of the government and the Public Service Commission and works with utilities, customers, contractors, and others to really help move forward energy efficiency projects and health and safety projects. So they work with public and private partnerships across the state of Michigan. They work with lenders. They can do loss reserve for lenders. They do oversight of authorized contractors who they've already verified are licensed, insured, and all of the good things that you want to look for. They have program guidelines and other things available. Next slide. They have a lot of information and can finance a lot of different projects if you need that, from $5,000 up to $2 million. They can work with lenders and get you approved immediately if you need to find lending for these types of improvements. And they coordinate already with Consumers DTE, Semco, and others to make sure that for energy efficiency and other upgrades that qualify, that everything is packaged together. They worked with us early in this crisis. Wonderful tool they created. I really appreciate their efforts on this. They reached out to their contractor base in the HVAC world to look at some improvements that you can make based on COVID and kind of a range of costs. Now, this would depend on where you are, what you have, what type of equipment you have, but some of the things that we need to do for COVID are increasing outdoor air ventilation, maybe doing more on filtration. Maybe considering UV lights in some degree if you're recirculating air. When we talk about filtration, we're talking about that recirculation. But they created this list for us, and we have a link available to it that you can get to kind of look at things that you can do. And this is in line with what Ash Ray, who helped us on our HVAC webinar series, the industry experts, has put out there as information that we should consider when we're talking about HVAC improvements. So some of their links here that you can check them out online, LinkedIn, Facebook, or otherwise, and certainly give them a call at 517-484-6474 for more information. Next slide. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Chad Miller, the Senior Energy Efficiency Program Manager with Consumers Energy, who's offered to help us today for you to understand where some of these things may overlap and some of the things that they do. Go ahead, Chad.
Great, thanks for having me, Sean. I'm excited to share some information that we have available to our small businesses. So next slide, please. We at Consumers Energy take safety very important. So aligning with the CDC guidelines, we've implemented steps to protect our employees and customers. For company employees who need to enter customers' homes or businesses, will be required to wear a face mask, thoroughly wash work surfaces before work, and keep a 6-foot distance at all times, while respecting you and your customers as we serve you. Next slide. I will move through the next few slides fairly quickly, sharing information about the different offerings we have. For starters, our direct install team provides a complimentary installation of energy efficiency products by one of our trained energy advisors with products such as smart and programmable thermostats, faucet aerators, and pre-rinse sprayers, shower heads, LEDs, and pipe insulation, just to name a few. We generally have energy advisors going door to door during business hours offering the service, but if interested, you can also request a visit at the below email. Next slide. Next, we have energy advisors offering a free energy assessment, which includes a complimentary walkthrough review of the customer's facility. Once completed, a report is generated that provides insights on customers' energy usage, simple tips and recommendations, and links to other energy efficiency opportunities in our portfolio. More recently, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we do offer a virtual phone assessment for customers not comfortable with an in-person visit. A simple phone discussion about the business, what kind of lighting, what type of HVAC equipment, to help develop the discussion and gain insights for the report that will be sent out later. Next slide. Our Trade Ally program includes a network of preferred contractors called Trade Allies that will provide a turnkey retrofit solution for lighting and refrigeration products with little to no effort to our customers. The Trade Ally will handle everything from providing a proposal of opportunities, installation of products, and necessary paperwork to the program. This can be up to 100% covered by the program, while if any money is owed by the customer, it is not due until after the project is complete. This is simply pick a Trade Ally and they will do the rest. Next slide. In addition, with COVID at the top of everybody's mind these days, we have also reviewed our rebates for those that align with HVAC upgrades that help with the COVID-19 mitigation, such as high performance filters, airflow management devices, rooftop heating units, boilers, and furnace tune-ups. So let us know how we can help in this area as well. Next slide. Marketplace is our online store for businesses that provide energy efficiency products at reduced costs that a customer can install on their own. These products may look similar to what we offer within the direct install, but with the ease of ordering online and free shipping. What we can relate to are experiences with online shipping like Amazon and others. We can offer an immediate 25% off your first order with the code listed below. We feel that Marketplace is the gateway for customers. So it's kind of the beginning of where you could start by purchasing energy efficiency products with attribution and increased options for customers throughout our different offerings. Next slide. And now through the end of the year, if you have a business in any one of the counties listed that are a gas or electric customer, you can get a free thermostat simply going to consumersenergy.com/marketplace, sign on with your business account number and pick a thermostat. Then please note, shipping is slightly delayed due to high volumes of shipments this time of year, taking approximately 2 to 3 weeks. Make sure you take advantage of this opportunity. Next slide. Lastly, all of our small business offerings is the My Business Rewards website, which is a small business online platform that promotes energy education, the ability to learn more about the customer's energy consumption, with the ability to earn points that can be redeemed for gift cards to your favorite retailer. And last slide. Wanted to end on kind of a positive note here with something cool we are doing called Our Town. We are providing a dollar-for-dollar match for gift cards, certificates, purchased through local chambers of commerce and downtown organizations. The effort launched this week and continues through the end of the year while supplies last. The Our Town gift card promotion will double the amount of shoppers can spend in communities across Michigan. Feel free to check in with your local downtown association or chamber to figure out if they are participating in this opportunity. And then lastly, one item to share, the MEDC announced today that they have the Pure Michigan Small Business Relief Initiative that will disperse $10 million in grant funding to eligible small businesses in Michigan. That's starting today. They expect to fund approximately 650 small businesses with the funding that has been allocated, and we just see this as a great opportunity during a tough year. With that, thanks for your time today.
Thanks, Chad. I really appreciate that. That Our Town gift card thing is awesome. I really appreciate Consumers Energy stepping up like that, as they often do for our communities. I hope with the holidays right here and gift cards always being a good Christmas gift. Not that, you know, there aren't better ones, I guess, but they're a good Christmas gift. I really encourage everybody to take advantage of that. That's a wonderful program. Do we have Ken on? I'm not sure. He was having trouble accessing the system. I wasn't sure if he was able to join.
Doesn't look like he's on here, Sean.
Okay, so I think what I'll do then is I'll quickly go through. I am not Ken Randazzo. I'm not from DTE, but I think many of the things that Chad was sharing with you from consumers is certainly these are competitors, so they're not identical, but they have a lot of similarity between programs that they're doing to try to really help with the types of incentives and rebates and other tools that are available to small businesses as it relates to energy efficiency, and in some cases these COVID-related responses. You can certainly find information about their programs through their DTE website, and just click on through, Michael. So similarly, they can work with Michigan Saves, as I mentioned, on some of the things that you might need for financing. They do a 0% APR for certain scale projects. I think that's a wonderful tool that you could take advantage of if you need to do heavy upgrades. Some of these things are pretty cost effective where you may not need to do a lot. Go ahead. Oh, that was a pretty short one. So with that, I think that we do have some questions in the hopper. Certainly Chad from Consumers is here with us today to really get into the details and nitty gritty of how these things might work, and certainly happy to answer any questions that we have.
All right, my name is Erica, and I'm going to go ahead and read through the Q&A section here. If you want to submit a question, go ahead and click on the little chat bubble with the question mark, and we'll get to as many as we can. With that, our first question is, what is your opinion on the use of bipolar ionization to help control viruses?
I think Chad just disappeared. No, I'll do my best imitation of Sonia. Sonia joined us from ASHRAE and handled a lot of these more specific questions. When we're talking about bipolar ionization, UV lighting, some of the other systems that are coming out there, you really want to think about what your system can handle and what it can do and what you're doing with your system. So some of the things and tools we've seen from ASHRAE talk about, you're using bipolar ionization when you're recirculating more. If you're bringing in a lot of outdoor air, you really want to think about what you're ionizing, right? If you were doing 100% outdoor air, you're essentially changing out that air indoors continuously. That's why outdoor dining is safer than indoor dining and those types of things. If you've increased your system to get your air changes per hour up to, let's say 6, that means about every 10 minutes you're, in theory, replacing all of the air inside that building, which are some of the tools that you might want to consider. So definitely work with manufacturers. ASHRAE, it's just ASHRAE. Michigan has a lot of resources posted on some of these questions as well, and they have a questions link that you can shoot them questions on related to these types of tools.
We're certainly putting your knowledge to the test today, Sean. We do have a few other questions from other participants today about specific systems such as plasma sanitation and MERV filters. Is there anything further you want to add to that, or just really linking people back to ASHRAE resources?
So I'm happy to talk a little bit about MERV filters, but I think that for some of those, like the plasma question, those definitely need to go to those HVAC professionals and the engineer types to really sort out what will work for your establishment.
Perfect. And are there any incentives for upgrading HVAC systems for home businesses?
Chad, how would you guys handle that?
For home businesses would be within our residential programs. So depending on what you have, but your HVAC, there are rebates out there for residential type of furnace situations. Yeah, definitely check out our website. If you have further questions, we can also answer those. Feel free to send me an email. I can help you that way as well. But we do definitely have residential HVAC type of products available that we rebate.
Would that include, Chad, moving from like a single speed fan to a variable speed fan? Those are typically considered more energy efficient.
Yeah, it would depend. I don't have the answer to that specifically, but we do, variable speed fans are typically rebated. So it just depends on the certain situation that you may have at your home or office.
Okay.
All right, this one looks like another one for Chad. Our nonprofit has a house-like building and in July installed a high MERV UV titanium dioxide filter in the return air system. Any rebates available?
Again, I'm not the expert in that space, but you can definitely find our catalog of rebates online. Go to consumersenergy.com/start saving. That'll get you to the website, and you'll find our catalog right there that you can look through and see if there's available rebates for that.
All right. I feel like this might be the same answer, but another nonprofit, it says FQHC. Any programs or grants available for generators? Would that be on that same website, Chad?
Yeah, generators typically not fall within energy efficiency. As you think about energy efficiency, it's always about reducing energy usage, and it can be switching. You can't fuel switch from one to the other. Not aware of any generator rebates available.
All right, and this one from Eric. What was the small business grant the Consumers Energy presenter mentioned?
The grant that I talked about, the $10 million, is through the MEDC. Again, just came out today. I would recommend go to their website. It's first come, first serve. So check it out. And you know, if you have any questions, feel free to contact them. Just thought it was valuable to share with the group today.
And that's the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. You can Google search it that way, or you can find a link to them on our Michigan Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity homepage, because they're housed within our department.
Perfect. And where and how do we submit for energy rebates?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have a lot to offer, as you noticed. I ran through them all very quickly. If you're interested in lighting and refrigeration opportunities, I talked about the Trade Ally program. That best suggestion there is go to our website. The first thing that we'll push you to do is kind of look at our trade allies that are participating. That program is kind of a turnkey program, so literally find a trade ally that participates. They will know how that program works. They will come in, give a walkthrough of your facility, give you a proposal. You get to look at the proposal and decide if you want to move forward. If you're just thinking more prescriptive wise, you want to change out some kind of piece of equipment and that is more energy efficient than the old one, we have our catalog that I talked about earlier. So go to our website, go to consumersenergy.com, start saving, and you can download the catalog of all of our products that we just rebate prescriptively. If you fall within the small business, the Trade Ally program is the #1 way to go if you're thinking lighting and refrigeration.
All right. And what about nonprofit businesses for upgrading and replacing to more efficient HVAC systems?
Same thing. Anything related to HVAC is kind of within our prescriptive program. I would go there to check it out. Again, similar, there's trade allies that participate in the program. They know how the program works, know how to utilize getting the rebates. But again, if you're thinking of upgrading your system, you can look those items up on our prescriptive catalog. That'll give you a head start. If not, again, reach out. We can have an energy advisor contact you and kind of help you through the process.
Right. And are residential treatment facilities included in these programs? It is not solely for the office buildings, correct?
Residential treatment facilities, I'm not certain what that is. When we talk about, go ahead, Sean.
It would be a business chat. I think just off the top of my head, it would fit in. This would be where somebody is living at a residential type in a housing while they're undergoing treatment for something.
Gotcha. So again, it all depends on the account. If the account is a business account, a commercial or industrial account, that would fall within the programs that I spoke about. If it has a residential account, we also have programs available for residential.
All right, and I have a duplex with electric heat. I would like to switch over to gas forced air. Are these funds available for new installations?
Unfortunately not. I spoke about it earlier as well. The fuel switching is not something that we can rebate. It's all about what is the current use, and then how are you improving that to be more energy efficient. That's where the rebates come in. So in that situation, we would not be able to help.
All right, and it looks like we have one last question at this time. Is there a grant available for upgrading factory ventilation systems?
There certainly could be. Again, it would be looking into the catalog. We also have the ability, if there's a custom situation, we can help work through that as well. So let's say that there's not prescriptive equipment specific to your system, we can walk through with our engineers and figure out, the system that you have and then the system that you would like to have and determine if there's any savings there. And that's how they base the rebates. So there's definitely an opportunity. And again, I would recommend reaching out. Our website also has chat functionality. So if you get there and you're not certain like where to go next, you can literally chat live, during the normal business hours. But they can also connect you to, having somebody call on you, and we can help you walk through the process of next steps.
All right, we got a couple more questions that just came through, and maybe we can put the DTE slide up. This one is from Linda in Ann Arbor, who says, we are a DTE customer with 43 HVAC systems on our various buildings. Do you have any DTE participation info? Sorry, I put our video producer on the spot here to go back to the slide. But we should note this recorded session will be available on the YouTube channel, so we can send that out as well.
So to answer that question to some degree, and not to downplay what Consumers is doing for us today, but DTE has very similar programs that you should look into. They may operate a bit differently in some places, but a lot of the rebates, you'll find some overlap there, and you can find trade allies, and you can find different ways that they may do things. So just because we were unable to get DTE in today, it was some tech issues, you will be able to find those there as well.
Yeah, and I'll speak for both DTE and Consumers. If you have any interest whatsoever in energy efficiency, reach out to us. We're there to help. We're here to navigate next steps. If you're looking for a trade ally, we can kind of point you in a direction. So yeah, definitely reach out to us.
All right, and are there any of the rebates that were discussed, are those available to all areas of the state of Michigan, including the Upper Peninsula?
That's a good question. So Consumers Energy is throughout the Lower Peninsula. DTE does serve both the Upper Peninsula and Lower Peninsula. So it just depends on what your utility is. And there may be points of opportunity, if you're a DTE electric and Consumers gas, or vice versa. So you would be able to utilize both sets of programs to, maybe get those rebates that you're looking for.
And if you are considering this based on electric, and you're at a cooperative in the Northern Michigan Electrical Cooperative, definitely check in with them too. They may have some of these programs that are similar that you might be able to work with.
All right, we're almost at time, so I'm going to go ahead and read off the one last question, and then we'll turn it over to Sean to close us out. The last question is there a charge for the energy advisor to work with you for the upgrades?
Absolutely not. Our energy advisors, they're looking to help our customers get more energy efficient. No charge whatsoever. The energy advisor can be that link to maybe potentially a trade ally that will actually help you do the work, or potentially if you have your own maintenance staff and you're looking to replace some equipment, they can help you kind of work through that process of the application, or maybe what's the best program available to you. Like I mentioned, we have a lot to offer. We know that it's a little bit overwhelming if you haven't done anything yet with us. We're working on that. We're trying to make sure that it's clean as possible, but my number one reaction is yes, please just reach out to us, and we will help navigate these rough waters.
Well, I really appreciate you all joining us today. I think we really wanted to highlight and make sure that you are aware that as we're all fighting to contain COVID, there are these tools available, and they may interact with things that you're trying to do to improve your HVAC systems, to make your space more energy efficient and more conducive to lowering the potential spread of COVID. So these are great opportunities. I hope that you take advantage of them. Obviously, there is a lot broader impact than just COVID related issues that you may be having, and these can really help you in the long run as well. And we really appreciate Chad joining us today from Consumers Energy to work through these concepts, following up on that HVAC webinar series that we did to make sure that as you look at these things, don't let yourself get overwhelmed. There are opportunities here to take advantage of rebates and incentives, to work with their free energy advisor to really look at your place of operation and help you make changes for COVID and for the long run. So great opportunity. Thanks for joining us today, and I really hope you found it helpful.
Thanks for having me.